Ladies and gentlemen, it's your boy Tenkobo, aka I'm the only romantic boy in my village. So ladies and gentlemen, before we go further, if you are a new member in this platform, do all your effort and subscribe to this channel. Nata ko take katentro ni jarosi Sheikh Mr. Ensafal anala entire team of Bay bring care ladies lumbang for care you anyhow of care you call. But before we go further, still now nyaki unyamalamu alinga video jibe ten kobo binamila la video come. Yes. It will not be well with this Chunkun Jammeh. Better thunder will fire you. Please.
Yesterday, saying Jammeh protected him. This was a country where if you kill in the name of the head of state, you get protected or even get promoted. This was the Gambia we lived in. Yahya was captured. The rebel attack in Farafenye, he was tortured so badly, few months later he died. Jammeh created these institutions wherein torture was the name of the game. Torture was the order of the day. It was his star chamber. We've heard the NIA officer saying that torture was almost certain to happen in cases where he is involved. In fact, we've heard from someone so close to Jammeh who told us sometimes he will come disguise and participate in torture. Well, the public may not have had that. Yes, but it is evidence before the commission. We have heard how video recorders are carried by some of his agents, and they will take videos of tortures, well, and maybe even killings, because we have heard how Dabamarena and co were dealt with. Tumbul had to come with a video recorder and a video camera and had to show Jammeh proof. I am ashamed that this was the country our people lived in. I'm ashamed that this is the country that my parents lived in. I'm ashamed that this is the country my children live in, and this is where they're growing up. This is what happened in Gambia. Between 220 murders to 250 murders occurred in this country during Jammeh's rule, attributable to Jammeh. And that is not the enforced disappeared. We've heard from Sheikh Ujala. Jammeh told him, oh, Solo is lucky, but for my mother, I would have disappeared him. Well, disappearing people was part of his modus operandi. Indeed, Buba Yabo disappeared. Abdullah An disappeared. Baba Isanyang disappeared. Chief Ibrahim Amane disappeared. Omar Haidara disappeared. Sidi Sane disappeared. Momodu Job disappeared. And Kanyiba Kanyi, we've heard from his wife how the NIA took him away from their home. We've heard from people who were at NIA, at Mile 2 prisons, describing how he was taken away at night. So bad it was that when civil servants went to work, they're not sure they're gonna come back home. And to tame the civil service, he had the laws to do it. You dance to his tune, you're safe. You don't, you face the peril of a false information charge or an economic crimes charge or being sacked by a letter of 1 or 2 lines or at least 1 sentence without recourse to law. That is the evidence that's been unearthed before this commission. There may be deniers. Yes, There will be deniers. But these numbers don't lie. These numbers don't lie. If you ask the family of Solo Sandeng, they would tell you we feel the pain. Deny as much as you wish, but we feel the pain. If you ask Amadou Kebe, he would say, deny as much as you want. I am walking with 1 foot shorter. Ask those students who were there on that fateful day of April 10th. Some would tell you I have a bullet lodged in my body. Those things don't lie. Deny as much as you wish. But the facts speak for themselves. And the Gambian people have seen it. What we had was a terrible dictatorship that would do everything to self-perpetuate and to strengthen its so-called supremacy over the Gambian people. No wonder it demanded to be crowned. And we had minions running around the country trying to secure that. We have heard Yahya saying that the meetings were held at his home. If the Gambian people were in strong at that point, we would have been having a monarchy now. The kingdom of, I don't want to say it, with James Junkung the first as our king. That is what was going to happen. And thanks to God, the Gambian people dug deep into their reservoir and said, no, 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 it's not going to happen. But by this time we had gone too far into a dictatorship. We have gone too far into self-perpetuation with 22 years. We have gone too far deep in corruption where the whole treasury and the central bank was an extension of the executive household. We have heard from Mr. Njai, who testified a few days ago, how his property was taken away from him in gangster style. Mr. Chair, all these things I am saying tells me crimes against humanity, crimes against humanity, crimes against humanity. And the forum to deal with that is not only limited in Gambia. It could be Gambia, it could be Ghana, it could be West Africa, it could be somewhere in Africa, it could be the ICC. So no matter how people deny, no matter how one can control what may happen in Gambia, that same institution cannot control what happens outside or elsewhere. We have seen Hussein Habri. He's run away for 20-something years. He had to face the law. The other day I saw a publication with the Justice Dial pointing at Jammeh. Perhaps that is what needs to happen. Justice must happen. We all crave for reconciliation. And that is fundamental. That is absolutely important. We all crave for unity of the Gambian people because we are in one little boat. And all of us have to be our brother's keeper so that we can keep this little boat afloat. But that said, there must also be justice. There should be justice for the victims. There should be justice for us as a people because we are all scared, we are all traumatized as a people because of the dark chapter that happened to us. 22 years of brutality, 22 years of disrespect for the Gambian people. But we are the cause of it because we succumbed. We accepted it. We coached him through it. We guided him through it. We told him we would accept it. And no wonder when he threw water, even some of our imams would dive just to touch that water, because coming from him, it has spiritual value. Embarrassing situation. This is what I see Dr. Cisse asking whether that is true. Yes, indeed, it happened in this country. Dictatorship, self-perpetuation in power, and corruption is a recipe for disaster. But in order to free ourselves from those shackles, we have to ensure that there is rule of law in this country and that we have strong democratic institutions. Otherwise, we are doomed. And this has to be the cornerstone of the recommendations of the TRRC. If never again is to be meaningful, it has to be anchored on rule of law. It has to be anchored on strong institutions. It has to be anchored on a disciplined society. I pray to God that we reform our attitudes and we show commitment to this little country called Gambia, that we have so much, as said by Mr. Carr, borrowed from our children. We have to be careful the Gambia we hand over to them. If we do not correct the ills of the past, we will be sowing seeds of disaster for the future. I leave it at that, Mr. Chair. I think we have made a good case. Even those who are in denial, if they search deep down, they would see that the truth has come out. And the truth is, Jammeh took us on a wild ride for his own self-aggrandizement. He has to pay the price. And those who enabled him also have to pay the price. Justice must be done. It must be seen to be done. Thank you, Mr. Chair.
Thank you very much, Council. And the opportunity that we have at the moment, as I indicated earlier, must not be squandered. Thank you so much, Lead Counsel.
TRRC aliyakata baki nte mbofala aliyakata baki aliye kuma sifal bondi kela tablo kan TRRC tablo kan wallahi ndata kenola ni même femme so da kenola ite fa même jibe kay ta kenola tuma do mebi sa keno bari ha na ful jamala spin tan la woto tonya bi da mendi sanyi mo nim fula maralo men tambita nganya fete men kono duniya bele nyaaje ya Jammeh ni mol ka kamfa ika ya Jammeh ni adam baro fanan la ha ndede man sa nimbe kon nan ke kon kudanta daydale bi ke kon men kan nimbe kan la fanan daydale bi ke kan men kan anu linga tinyaro ji dawdan fanan ko refo ikara man sa tikara do bati adam baro de ni ko ala tanko bunda bi yon farin zonte majela mol man safe mol life mol be catastrophe mol be fala everywhere you don't know about the flood shara because of ala tanko bunda man tar strong ya Jammeh ala tanko bunda strong dal bo ya Jammeh tinyaro menke isi kam fa nyam ding al si kam fa nyam ding al kanani ala baro compare ha alci campagne nyandal kana ya Jammeh ni adam baro compare adam baro jamano mbingal no gambe mo baka diam sorry ya Jammeh jamano mbingal no gambe mo baka diam jonka diam mo moni be diam la ya Jammeh diam banku ngay diam banku nga nde ade kris muk ni be diam la yi wati be tar banku bantale mo killing gambe ku fana kankoro ya Jammeh yo binka ka diamala wolom imam baka osutu ndes ni ndamana witness no je maybe fana simbodo witness no bandes ni witness no je men kadi o fana a prepare fundita bana ana rahno biya ma fanke oto mo kende mo be katoke ya la wuloto bari nyinde be kefarun to monna kefarun ko ndeba le imam baka osudala ndaka mo man ko do ko man tare bi mi naka kunun na fo kunun ngora fo kunun tilon del be nga gel membe kirim billahi wallahi talla hani ndanga moje kabin tamane street ado nan ko la ko he ni street ado nyabe de wulerin taw ya saga samba gana comptoir ya sama makati after basi sengor no ya hamaga to mori ban nan ba understand ñu wala moti ndato fala Gambia o time woni be diam na foye ko felele la ban fang ita fam bakala fo ala fam kanyum fo ya Jammeh ba malong because ita ka mo fo do yene no nobody safe woto nimmol boto man saya kono nata adam boro man saya kono bi mo be lo ko mi boro kan mo be lo la tandari e ba fala adama dis adama dan fo ya Jammeh sanji mo nim fula nyim membe ti ara yim be la tablo kan den fal bo kanyim moy bam fom be le fo mo sa fay bo kanyim moy mo sa fay bo kanyim moy ay nga ñala la kan ton bawo be la alfa ka be la dimbal ka fu ñu sokon fi da bon no yele e soron no e si mo tan yaale be iko ko be sokon mbara be ka damul na alfa le ka ko ya kilo kenya to be ko fon na alfa le woto bi ni ngaje bi adam baro jamano bi mo jama be fukan woto Gambia be diari ni alo diara tambe say fo security fo lam futa andum nyaaji be kuno melbe tanko bunda ta kuno ni mo kemelo han say mo tawro lay lulo be tanko bunda han say bari yalla di yaaje ma yo so don wala na adam baro mo so bolo ay tulum kan tanko bunda la tulum wotal fundo si bo nyaaw nyanding atala lan kuno mbara me kono kuno tilo bi tilo ni yaaje melbe siring mo ko mo do fo Gambia bangu ngay sayla ko fo ya Jammeh tay gira minki ay mo men damba niyobo ngaji nyenda mo amanto men damba mo kene fula mo tandul an me be bahamata kono wol tokilen an milla dajar an milla no wol defuto keno la wol ben tan kono beri fata yo damba def be lan ko be terrible incident kono wol tamal na folo al ci campagne ngende alal fundo gindi wor piaral si nyaaja tele be jokot nan kanat nan wallahi hada ma dum ka barana dron bara son demo ko be kerin alsiya kan ngene sa tan ngende yaya bama na balura biya atawatla ya alaji alaba ku jaw kede ay yaya bama sambale honto ni yaya bama baluru nyin tiaral si funtita billahi tatula na ala dum kan ngene kanyene ka mol yelo bon ka mol fa ka mol kundu ko dabo ke fi ba mol ak ke mol kundu ka dikka ba ci ka mol sare ka hanama dum sacrifice kata don noma ko burale bola ke fa kata don noma kamula life after kom dan lo ka dafon after lo ko nyame dunya be nyabala ay lual be fala ka bulo ko banko be nyabala wotan ci campagne nyanda la calculate bi ndaka di bi ci Gambia bi ngadi amen der handa bi because bi yes bi adam boro be lidin bi bar ko non tilo ya Jammeh star lidin nan tanga ci fakati mo jamalo ta bi hani election mo jamalo ta kunu ya Jammeh tilo fe mané wallo it lo tay ma win you are in trouble you win that you are in trouble you ma win you are in trouble la ilaha illallah diafo ndanga tiara si ngal tentu bake ngal jay ale kata ko non beke ngal tentu ngal jay ale trutta ka fundina dunya be yaje ndesane ngage dol biye balanken son ndron ba dunya be ala be kerin so diafo ngal tentu bake ngal jay ko do min tan kunkoro man sakunda la do ko islam adam baro firo beke na yaje manatna al firo beke al yaje manatna alina tunya tan yaje mela banal ya mele ko tan ha man salbe kadi ibe kadi mun to yaw ñorade isi mun no ñorade because ning adam baro man patta kayaje me ferbe kana yen na kayaje me diwit dunya bi ñaaje ali ya filije o ñama ha ñin do fa na rabbi mun dal la ko ñaaka la wati woto alla do ko to ji sanka ferbe kayaje me latno ñin tamit tan yaje ngakala bawo sa tiara si ñin ko di ba min be dum tiara si kunda kan ngeen tara in vain woto alla